Welcome back. We continue onward here with the USA States Cup 2026 round 32 weekend. Our second match here of the evening. Number 5 seed Carolina. Number 28 seed Illinois. Their lowest ever seed, whereas Carolina ties their own highest ever seed. Will it matter? Only time can tell. T1G here, joined again by Miles. Carolina, Illinois, I feel like similar storyline to what we saw in Nevada versus Minnesota. Wonder if it'll play out the same way.
Yeah, pretty much. Except I think Illinois generally has less firepower than Minnesota has if playing at their peak. A lot more lower ranked players on this team, really being the center of their roster. Meanwhile, Carolina bringing back a lot of veterans, as we were mentioning before we went live. Bochi Cookie coming in now for their 10th USC in a row, has played every single iteration, which is extremely impressive. And also joined by Rhythmic RS, almost top 100 DT player as well. And otherwise, 3 new players for Carolina this year.
Yeah, you get Bonk in. You bring Hobbs to, I believe that is a return. I think he has played on the team in the past, but big shoes to fill. They lose Abba, who was one of their better players, I feel like, for the last couple of years when he's been on the roster, not playing this year. So bring in Bonk, bring in Hobbs, bring in Pull Out Couch. What a username that is. Be interested to see how these guys fare against, like you said, a little bit of a lower rank Illinois, and no Buidan May, who's been a fixture on their rosters. But I've heard that Lechuga is possibly a player to look out for. Relatively lower rank, 7,800, but somebody apparently who did very well in their tryouts.
Yeah, some interesting information about Pullout Couch. Has the OSU Balkan Cup 2024 winning team badge, so somehow qualified for a Balkan tournament and USC. Maybe played that with the USA flag or changed the flag to USA after this or after that.
Yeah, I actually went and looked that up. Let me see if I can. Wait, maybe it wasn't that one. There was a different Carolina player who actually flag changed to like Poland or something later on. So it's like, the pipeline goes both ways. Like you have a player going from Carolina to Poland, and you have a player coming from somewhere in the Balkans to the United States. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on in Carolina, bro.
Oh, I forgot what this map was. Okay, so I actually kind of griefed this warm-up for Illinois. I gave them this map of In Chicago by the great John Summit. And I forgot it turns into this map, which is those sliders are from, you remember the one from a few years ago in USC, I'm Retarded? Those are the sliders from that map. Oh, and here it is again. Beautiful.
Oh,
Beautiful.
It is.
Oh my god.
Oh my. Yeah, I looked up. I remember looking up Pullout Couch and seeing the OBC badge and being more than a little confused. Because they had like the rules were like prove beyond reasonable doubt that you are from one of these countries or whatever. So make of that what you will, I guess.
Okay, Riley in the chat is saying that he moved as a child, so we're gonna trust that.
I'm drunk and I'm high. I'm drunk and I'm high.
Yeah, there you go. There's your validation. You're welcome.
Also, you want to know who their teammate in that tournament was? Il Boss Still Poppin', who is Italian.
That's awesome.
Notable Balkan nations Italy and the United States.
All that with this song in the background.
I don't know, man. I don't know
This
what
is
we're doing.
already, this match is already Freaky Friday, and we're in the first warm-up. Hey, I mean, I saw a post from the official Bosnia Twitter account today saying that they've colonized the United States, so we are technically the Balkans now.
Well, I feel like that can't be proven until round of 32 World Cup matchup. Then we'll decide whether Bosnia gets to claim the United States as their territory or not.
True. Wow, these players on Illinois really don't like me. What have I done to them?
I'm thinking of like, you know that format, like, you know, is it an X or is it a Y? And then they're just like clapping, it's good, and they're like, oh, it's a Y. It's like the entirety of Europe. Like, is it a Baltic nation or a Balkan nation? And then you're just like, it's a good country, and then you can just pick whichever you want depending on who you want to make fun of.
I remember a few years ago I was doing the seed reveal for OWC, and I accidentally called Sweden Scandinavia, and I instantly got DM'd by like 3 Swedish people and got subtweeted by Rafis's, I think now fiance, saying that I caused a new war in the North Country. So you can't actually get that wrong. Because I accidentally, or in my mind before that, I was like, Nordic and Scandinavia are like interchangeable. Like you could just say either of them, but apparently that's not true.
Yeah, the fact that we have Nordic, Scandinavian, and Baltic to all describe different subsets of the same, like, 8 nations? Like, do we really need all of these different ways of talking about the same grouping of countries in a very, very close geographic proximity? I feel like we don't, but it's the biggest deal if you get it wrong.
I mean, I guess like Baltic is a little easier because that's just like Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, but it's Scandinavia versus Nordic that got me.
Also, I guess there's the United States where we have the big one here is like the Midwest. Like, if you say that a state is not in the Midwest and they feel like they are, like, you will have some fierce arguments.
Wait, I had this one on Friday with my coworker. Is Kentucky the South or the Midwest?
They're not the Midwest. I will say that. Kentucky is definitively not a Midwestern state. That is like, they're not like the deep South, right? It's not like you're talking about like Mississippi, Alabama, but they're definitely not the Midwest.
Dude, okay, so I just moved to Ohio, and like this is my first time being in the Midwest, and I'm like a couple hours drive away from Kentucky, like maybe 3 hours or so. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, it's a 3-hour drive away, and I'm in like pretty average Midwest, so like maybe that's still the Midwest. Yes, I have never been to Kentucky, Riley. I don't know what the fuck goes on down there. Some people pretend Ohio is the South. There is no way anybody pretends
crazy.
Ohio is the South.
Appalachia? That might be a shout.
Yeah, definitely Appalachia.
That's fair. Like that's like a sub-region though, I feel like, right? Like that doesn't usually get, you know, if you're talking about major regions of this country. Also, this is what happens when you have warm-ups, is we just end up on the craziest tangents because there's nothing to actually talk about.
But yeah, like Appalachia is a sub-region, the same way you would say like Mid-Atlantic versus New England are sub-regions in the greater Northeast. Like,
yep, agreed. West Virginia is just really like apocalypse movies.
Another state slider, yes!
Yo,
We're
state
two
sliders.
we're 2 for 2 tonight. Let's go.
All of the state sliders. Michigan needs to do a mitten slider. Can we get... Well, Consumer Bean's not on the team this year. I was going to say, can we get him to map a warm-up and include a Michigan slider? Fortunately, we have lost our mapper team member.
Well, surely Bean could do something.
Alright. Dark Scrap is gonna get on it.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, how long is this? Is this, like, how is this not more than 4 minutes long, by the way? This is 3 minutes and 50 seconds. There's no way we've only been having this discussion for, like, 3 minutes. I feel like this has been going on forever.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like about that, I went to my first Skyline on Friday with my coworkers. Like that was like my Midwestern baptism, to be honest, because as I said, I'd never stepped foot in this entire region before moving here. So I had to try it.
And it was good.
And I shit my pants out. I shit my brains out.
I mean, you know, sometimes that just happens.
But it was $6 for an entire lunch. Like it was two like loaded up hot dogs, and it was $6.50. Like being someone from New Jersey, like that is just unheard of, bro.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about you like getting your new job and moving and stuff, and I was like, man, the cost of living that you're about to experience compared to what you're used to coming to the Midwest from fucking New Jersey. Oh man. All right, good job to Carolina. Shoutouts to the artist formerly known as Will Cookie, now known as Bochi Cookie. Maybe we just call her Cookie now. I'm not sure because Bochi Cookie doesn't roll off the
Yeah,
tongue the way
I think
Will
we've been
Cookie
saying
did.
cookie for a couple of years now.
Yeah. And now we are finally through our warm-ups. Those felt really long. And
Well, we had some good conversations. So
we
it made it worth
did.
it.
We did. You know, that's the like I was saying, like that's kind of the one upside of warm-ups is that you can just go off on tangents. I mean, the first match we were actually kind of on topic, but this one was like, no, we're good.
Yeah, it's USC round of 32.
Yes, sir. It's the best. The best couple weeks, I think, are actually like round of 16 and quarterfinals when you still have 16 matches in both weeks, but the matchups are a little bit closer. Round of 32, like, this is what we do.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like Illinois will choose to ban second. Carolina gets to choose the pick order now between these two teams. Carolina, I think, a little bit more of a proven quantity than a lot of these Illinois players. And as you mentioned, with losing Buidon May on Illinois, who's one of their mainstay mechanics players, I think Carolina are going to try to exploit whatever mechanics are remaining in this pool. Stuff like the Nomad 5, stuff like the DT2, Fremont 3, could all be good picks for them. Meanwhile, Illinois, I think they're going to go for more of the comfy picks, as I mentioned in the previous match. Things like Fremont 2, just maps where you can get your full roster. And of course, we're going to be getting our next Hidden 2 ban. Is that 100% ban rate?
Still 100% ban rate. And what's interesting is that, like, maybe they're, I don't know, like, doesn't Cookie just FC that?
Double S, easily.
Right, like, I don't know, maybe the team is not as strong on it.
Yeah, for sure. And then also, I think that would be something Illinois might want to pick into eventually in this match if left open, because it is literally just like Will Cookie versus the world on that, I think.
Which is not always the greatest place to be in on a round of 32 pool. Like 1v9 is one thing if it's like semis, but in round of 32 you don't like to put your hopes in that, so I get it.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I haven't done so much studying on the new players for Carolina, but I don't know why I think Hobbs might be a gimmick player. I'm not entirely sure on that, but something.
Here's the thing. Hobbs is a mapper.
Mm-hmm.
And mappers are just always gimmick players.
It's true.
I don't know why. It just feels like a lot of mappers are gimmick players. So maybe there's something to be said for that. But I guess also the fact that she made the team at 8K. Usually when that happens, they're either like Giga D ranker or gimmick player.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess
Okay, we're gonna find out.
Man.
Okay,
It's no mod 5. You can just let the other team not pick it. That hasn't been picked at all. Just let them not pick it. I don't feel like you need to ban that.
Well, they're banning out one of the tapping maps, and you know, in the grand scheme of round of 32, if there's like a skill set you don't like, you just like ban the one of them that you like the least. So they prefer their chances on DT2 and Free Mod 3 then, I guess.
Yeah, it must be. And, well, yeah, I mean, there's like an adequate amount of tapping or tapping adjacent of all the, I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. Illinois first pick. After the Nomad 5 ban, with the opponents banning Hidden 2, I mean, maybe we get our first ever Hidden or Hard Rock Pool pick in match number 4 now. Maybe a Hidden 1 pick or something. Otherwise, maybe we just shut up and put Free Mod 2 in the bag, bro.
Yeah, put the Free Mod 2 in the bag. We know it's gonna come. It's the anti-mod. It's the round of 32. Someone on your team must have practiced it with Easy or Flashlight. Let's do it. Or, as you said, we haven't seen a single Hidden or Hard Rock yet, so maybe it'll finally come in this matchup.
They're taking their time on it. So we'll find out eventually.
What is Captain Hubba Wubba cooking? And it's going to be Glacier Fall. So we've cooked up some sliders.
We have cooked up some sliders. They're prepared for sliding. Trying to think of how I feel about this as a first pick. I think this just stays 100% pick rate, right? I think that Carolina's probably got adequate tech players that they should be okay on this, and I am also not surprised. You know, there's a couple ways that low seed versus high seed can go, and it's almost never tapping mechanics in low seed versus high seed. It's typically either generic aim, which there isn't a whole lot of, or it's gimmick, and you're just getting the latter of those two.
Yeah, this map, very long sliders, but those aren't really the hard part of this. You could just cheese the ticks on those. I think it's some of the weirder rhythms on this that could really catch you out, especially on like the last quarter of the map, and then also just generally a tech map between those sections. So we'll see how that goes. We've got Tuco, Jellium, and Lechuga up against Wooperfan, Bochi Cookie, and the Pull-Out Couch here on the first map.
What a set of names we've got here. Pull-Out Couch, Wooperfan, and Lechuga 420.
Jellium was never Dutch Dada. He was like, that guy tried out for 4WC like 5 years ago.
So, Cookie FCs, and then we see what we get out of Pull-Out Couch and Wooperfan. Lechuga, kind of eyes on there with the new player situation. Always interested to see how a roster newcomer fares in their first map of the tournament.
There's the first big slider. Everyone knows where the ticks are.
I feel like last match we had a couple of breaks pretty quickly into the first harder section, like after this intro ends, after this stream, just as you like make sure that you're in tune with these sliders patterns in this first section here. No breaks this time though. It's full combos on everyone still, and so dead even will remain through the first third.
There's the stream, catches out Wooperfan, so that's the first big break in the whole lobby. So still a three-way alive for Illinois at the halfway point, going to take a 50k lead. Really looking good for them as they come out of that section too with their FCs alive. Oh, but Lechuga's going to trade it out finally, but a 70k lead is pretty good on Nomad, especially at this point in the map.
And another break there from Wooperfan, followed by Cookie. Lushuga with a second break, not going to be a big deal. I'd much rather see the breaks coming from the same player, Tuco and Jellium, holding down the FCs for Illinois. Pull out Couch. The only FC remaining now for Carolina into the last third. 140K the lead for Illinois. Going to feel pretty decent for them as they continue on this this double FC heading towards last quarter.
And there's another break from Cookie. Jellium finally goes down, but with 200K, 1 FC to 1, Whooper fans 200 combo is not going to be enough to bring it back, especially as Lechuga has brought 200 combo back as well. So, going to be a successful first pick here for Illinois.
Yeah, it's a solid start. This is kind of the flip side of what we were talking about, in last match, where maybe the lower seed can do something interesting here with some specialist players in certain skill sets. That is a 1-0 lead, opening up promisingly. The 1 FC on Tuco. Do have the 1 FC on Pullout Couch as well, but just much better supporting scores from Jellium and Lushuga than Cookie and Whooperfan. And to return to the conversation from before, right? We had 2 teams in a row with higher seeds in the matchups that it feels like on the average what you expect out of their players for their performance doesn't necessarily match up with their seed. And so it's going to be interesting to watch what Carolina does, especially with Illinois coming out of the gates a little faster than Minnesota did against Nevada. Whereas here, Illinois looking stronger against their own opponents in Carolina, as whatever's happening down there in that bottom right corner. I don't know what's happening.
We're starting over. Oh, we're gonna reset. Okay, we're retrying for the FC. 1 SB from Jellium. See if we can FC on this try. Oh wait, we can actually click the notes. Oh my God, James! Look at our streamer go.
Huge. All right, hopefully. Yeah, this map, and I've mentioned this a couple times. Like, this map is just really wonky because of the that ending with like the storyboard and stuff. It's just kind of a strange situation. But we're through. And Carolina first pick free mod 3. You get no mod 5 banned against you. That makes a lot of sense to just go straight into another tapping pick in the pool. I feel like this was either going to be DT2 or free mod 3, and it is indeed.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's your gimme skill set in this matchup if you're Carolina. Like, even if the speed in this map pool or tapping mechanics in general is really simple, you're still going to want to abuse it into a team like Illinois, who really doesn't have a full roster of mechanics players, and Carolina with a bountiful amount of speed players. As you mentioned, though, no ABBA on the team this year would be in for something like this, probably on the Hard Rock, but still really strong players for Carolina here. And because it's early stage as well, you have to be ready for the Bochi Cookie hidden.
Yeah. Hidden pref player. Hidden pref player coming to play hidden. Is Rhythmic RS not a tapping player?
Rhythmic RS is like the tapping player of all time, so...
Yeah, so like, why not in for map with tapping in it?
It might be too easy for him.
Unless he's just not here. Are we gonna get back-to-back matches where important people are not here? I didn't even think about the fact that, like, we haven't seen him. Rhythmic RS is in Japan! Yeah, true. Rhythmic RS is hanging out with Swick in Japan.
They're just chilling. They're at a soba shop in Gunma. They're watching on their phones.
I was gonna say they're at an onsen.
Yeah, they're at an onsen.
Oh my God. All right, so we've got Whooperfan, Cookie, and Bonk against Hubba, Refantasio, and Jellium. Of course, Hubba and Cookie, the pref hidden players, going to play hidden for their teams. Whooperfan and Refantasio on the Hard Rocks. Nice matching, even mods, no overmodding, nothing crazy. We'll see if the mechanic supremacy is here for Carolina. This was, you know, Illinois chose to ban the Nomad 5 and leave this up, right? So you got to think that, you know, this is the lesser of two evils for them at least, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily good for them. We'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to avoid the ship misses here on both sides because, like, Hubba, actually a pretty decent tapping player. If you look at his top plays, has some pretty good tapping plays, will not have any trouble on a map like this. Neither will Jellium on the Nomad. I think my only potential worry for Illinois might be ReFantazio on the Hard Rock. But yeah, this, in my eyes, between these teams, might be a six-way sort of map.
I think between a fair number of teams in this tournament, that's a reasonable guess. We do see a couple of breaks right at the same time, though, right as we're talking about all the FCs. It's Wooperfan and Jellium to trade. Worse off for Carolina, the Hard Rock FC going down versus the Nomad FC going down, so you do lose out on a little bit of that mod multiplier score advantage going over to Illinois by a little over 10,000, but still a third of the map to go. There is a bunch of time remaining here.
Yeah, just 3,000 points in favor of Carolina. And with that act drop, it's going to actually send it over to Illinois. Wooperfan, couple hundreds there. But it's all going to come down to this final section here. Nobody can find a break. Any break is going to swing it back over.
Ooh, it's a miss for Bonk. And that might just give this straight to Illinois. The double FC still intact on Hubba and on ReFantazio. Wooperfan goes down again. Cookie doing whatever she can, but it just doesn't matter. The late misses come in from Illinois, but it's been job done already. Hubba dropping the hidden FC, and it's a 200k victory for Illinois. Breakpoint 2-0 lead to the massive underdogs, the 28 seed, out to the races here against the number 5 seed.
ReFantazio was shaking out of his mind at the end of that map, but still able to lock in 964k, doing good enough, backing up the Hubba Wubba FC to get the breakpoint on the board. 28 to 5 seed. If Illinois were to close this out, would there have ever been an upset that's greater in a seed distance than this?
This would be the biggest upset in tournament history, seed wise. I'm fairly confident. At Yoshi Lover for, you know, all of that sort of thing. I'm sure he has that data somewhere. But I don't know. I don't know the exact answer of what the largest seed discrepancy victory ever is, but it isn't as big as 28 over 5.
Highest seed that was upset in round of 32 is 8, according to our historians. So, yeah, Illinois is a break point and a couple of picks away from potentially something historic if they can continue this momentum. Going up 2-0 certainly doesn't mean they've won the match, but it's very well a great start.
Yeah, I think, you know, the big thing here is to stay poised and stay collected, and really lock in whatever the next pick is to try to consolidate the break point. That's going to be huge because the 3-0 lead, or, you know, past halfway to the finish line already at that juncture, and, you know, you force your opponent to come up with a break point to, you know, even get back to a potential tiebreaker. Like, just this next point in any of these matches on this best of 9 setup is crucial. So Illinois, you know, I feel like there's a world where they go another gimmick map of some type, or even just something, you know, something that isn't like a straightforward mechanics. You know, you could see, I feel like you could see the hidden one or the free mod 2. Oh, it's going to be the Hard Rock 2. So we are going precision, and this is going to be the first Hard Rock pick of the weekend. 2 Minutes Euphoria, pretty standard, I feel like, precision map, right? Kind of a light precision, entry-level precision, if you will.
Certainly entry-level precision. Nothing too crazy in this map, but, you know, it's still a precision pick. And I would say it's almost in a similar boat to the Nomad 2 pick, where, like, we could tell from that pick, Illinois has put the practice in. They were really confident on that map. And a pick like this right after that, I think, kind of oozes the same energy for Illinois. And also, not true just yet, but usually a pick like this does get Cookie out of the lobby. Just always a plus.
Yeah. Whenever you can get a player who's generally that consistent on low star, especially out of the lobby, it's a very, very good thing. That said, I think she probably just plays every map regardless. So while it may not get her out of the lobby, it may still get her off of like her comfort picks, which is not quite the same thing, but nearly as good.
Yeah, this is, as you mentioned, first time we're seeing this weekend, so curious to see how this goes. Tuco and ReFantagio and Lechuga gonna be in the lobby for this one. Up against, looks like Wooperfan, Cookie, and Bonk coming back in.
The way we go. This is a pretty important one here. This is a potential key moment already early on in this matchup. If Illinois can keep the momentum, get the 3rd point up. Carolina, though, isn't going to go away easy. Lechuga, going to be the first to break. I don't want to say struggling, but, you know, has been the player to have some of the not as great performances. But on the other side, Cookie to find the miss, as we talked about. Precision, not her comfort zone, and kind of seeing that here. A little bit lower act than normal for her, and the early break as well to hand the lead back over to Illinois.
I'm not really sure if it's the precision for her. I think it's more the hard rock here. Just not really used to playing without hidden as much. Definitely not in her realm of comfort. But as long as Wooperfan and Bonk can hold, they're going to have a chance in this pick. But right now, out of the gates, looking really good for Illinois once again. 2 full combos alive and just the reverse choke for Lechuga. At about the halfway point, though, it's going to be the next breaks that are really going to start to determine this map.
Kind of just play our way through here. You've got plenty of combo building up on everybody. There's a big break from ReFantagio, though, right about halfway. It's traded with Cookie again. Yeah, as you said, just, you know, the AR, the having to have approach circles element of this. Unfortunately, not going great for her. But the miss had come through from Lechuga as well, so the double FC on Wooperfan and Bonk will take the lead over for Carolina. The FC left on Tuco, all that Illinois can hope for as they want to maintain, you know, stay in touch on this, right? Give themselves opportunities if the misses come from Carolina.
Yeah, Tuco keeping them in touch here. 150k is not too much lead if they were to both break right now, but Lechuga continuing to break. ReFantagio not with a massive combo. Really has his work cut out for him. And Bonk and Wooperfan are just going crazy on this one at the ending here. Just an 1/8 of the map left, both still holding on to the FCs. And it looks like Carolina should bring this one back. There is the break from Bonk, but 273k of lead. I think that's enough, right?
Yeah, I think this is pretty safe. Just the ending to come. So Carolina gonna get the break point immediately back. After dropping 3 mod 3, they will take the Hard Rock 2, not working out for Illinois. And Carolina now will be able to even the matchup at 2 points apiece with a successful pick after that very impressive showing from Wooperfan on one of the 2 FCs in the lobby, only FC on their team. Little bit ahead of Tuco based on accuracy.
Also, great run from Bonk, 786k. Second highest score behind the 2 FCs. And yeah, now that's the break point right back. Carolina now opportunity to even it back up at 2 apiece here with their own pick. We'll see if they continue to pick speed. That Fremont 3 really didn't go well for them at all. DT2 could fear that to be a similar boat, but definitely in a different vein because you're not able to take your comfort mods on that map. Otherwise, there's a lot of interesting picks in this pool that I think Carolina could have. You know, you could abuse having a top tier hidden player like Cookie on your roster by picking something like a hidden 1. Or, you know, I want to see No Mod 1 and No Mod 4. Those are two of my favorite maps in this pool. It's really kind of tough to predict what the picks are going to be in the round of 32. Although we have seen some parallels so far between matches.
I think... Like, are you gun-shy about tapping now after the way Free Mod 3 went? So you don't want to pick DT2? Like, I feel like that could be, you know, that's kind of the discussion process, is like, do we go back to speed after losing our first pick on a speed map? You know, maybe we open up the, you know, do we open up the hidden pool? Like, yeah, we banned the hidden 2, but the hidden 1 might be doable. Nope, it is. Okay, so not gonna be gun shy indeed. They're gonna go the DT2. Again, you picked the Free Mod 3, you lost the Free Mod 3, but you're saying this is still our best option to continue playing some tapping.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't see that message in the chat from Hubba. What do you think they're going to pick, Miles? I think I somewhat predicted this one, right? Like, Free Mod 3, like, the progression is DT2, but I thought they could potentially go somewhere else after losing that pick, but I guess they are still confident in their tapping, gonna stay in the tapping maps. And this is the final, I think, real tapping map left in the pool. At 234 BPM. Decent amount of aim, decent amount of finger control, but I don't think it's anything that any of the players in the lobby are really going to struggle that much on.
Yeah, I think this is kind of what we've been saying about, like, the tapping stuff, right? Is that, like, generally speaking, most people are probably not going to struggle on this early stage. Like, everybody in the universe can play early stage tapping now, I swear to God. It kind of just feels like Carolina has to not underperform on the backing players. And being that Whooper Fan was the worst score on the Free Mod 3 and was on Hard Rock, I think, you know, being on the DT only might actually be a benefit here. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we say this map should be easy for these players, considering that they're playing the game actively here. I see a lot of retired players in the chat saying, don't underestimate this. I got 80k on this yesterday, but these players, I think, with high play counts on the month, should get some pretty decent scores on this.
In we go. We're gonna find out who's maybe correct about this. Will we see, you know, 3, 4, 5 FCs, or will we see, you know, 1 or 2 FCs? Intro going fine. Watch the accuracy. I feel like that's always a big thing. You know, it's kind of a giveaway as to who's most comfortable. 94 AC on Bonk, 95 AC on Cookie. Was lower AC on Tuco, but back up to 97 now. So, you know, kind of just keep an eye on that over the course of the map. Really is very telling on these tapping picks. But so far, it's 6 FCs, accuracy, small lead to Illinois. Just 15k, 10k. Not going to be anything meaningful.
Yep.
Oh, it went over. Somebody just dropped. Wait, did Tuco break there, or did he just stream 50s? Hang on, what happened?
It looks like he just got some 50s.
Oh, he must have, because he went all the way down to an A rank, is the only reason I say 50s specifically.
Aaron, I need to confirm now. Rhythmic RS is in Japan. So
that's just
2 matches in a row where team's star players are in Japan. That is crazy, but no reason to look at that now. Tuco finds the first miss. So now Carolina gonna take a demanding lead on this one, 1/3 of the way left. 100k lead already, and Jellium goes down as well. It's just Hubba all alone. I think this is already pretty out of reach for Illinois, but there is the first break.
Yeah, that one break isn't going to be the end of the world. Obviously, with the double FC still intact, it's going to be fine. What becomes worrisome is if Bonk or Cookie were to break. That would be where you'd get concerned. Oh, says Hubba, but there is the break from Bonk. Now this could feasibly get interesting if Tuco and Jellium hold through the rest of the map. Hubba continues to hold the FC. This could get a little sketchy with how note dense a map like this is.
Yeah, and that DT multiplier. Oh, but there goes Hubba, and that's going to end it. I think it would have been possible if Hubba had held. But yeah, I mean, on DT, it's just so dangerous to find misses because the score goes back so quickly. I think DT on score V2 is 1.2x. So that means score goes down a lot faster than if you were on a no mod or anything else.
Oh, shoutouts to Cookie, the lone FC in the lobby. So we find out which way the pendulum swings on the FC count, and it is to the low side. Anybody who had under, I don't know, 2.5 FCs, let's say, going to get a little bit of a payday. USC sponsored by DraftKings 2027. Just you wait. And that's going to tie things up. Illinois looked like they were out to a very, very good start in the match, but give up the break point, and then Carolina able to establish a win on their own next pick. And now we got a best of 5 on our hands the rest of the way through. The upset-minded 28th seed next to pick will have to see if they can right the ship a little bit.
And they've still got a lot of map pool to work with here. Still Nomad 1, 3, 4 open. There's the Hidden 1, Hard Rock 1. Couple of DT maps, couple of free mod maps. I think we could be seeing maybe Jinkala coming in. The low-seeded classic, picking the anti-mod.
Yeah, like I've been thinking that, but I don't know. I mean, is that a mid-match pick? I feel like it's you either pick it early or late. I don't know that you pick it at the 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, a 2-2 sort of pick right now would be like if they wanted to go for the creator, if they wanted to go for Mujeres y Cerveza, like they pick that now. But I do expect to see Jinkala sometime this match for Illinois, for sure.
With their first 2 picks being Nomad 2 into Hard Rock 2. Man, I feel like, you know, if you're Illinois, you like might really wish there was another tech map in the pool. Eh? Like, why do we not have any more sliders? Creator indeed. Classic alt.
They don't make alt maps like this anymore. This map, it's honestly one of my favorite maps in the game, to be honest with you. Just really comfortable to play.
I think something that I actually like didn't think about until just now is that this map set is BTMC's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like I never noticed that because it's like you just think of this, you think of it's like it's a Satan map, right? Because that's the diff. But you look at the map set host and you're like, wait, doesn't make you. I don't know.
Yeah, this map, a lot of flow aim in this one, really. I guess there's a diff spike on the, there's a guitar section after the second chorus that has this one circle stream, and that's probably the hardest pattern in the map, but otherwise it stays really consistent all the way through. I think this could be one of the higher scoring maps of the weekend.
Well, we did see this picked, actually in both Friday night matches. Pretty wide range of team scores, and dang it, somebody freaking appears to have DC'd, so there's a missing score, so I'm gonna have to add that manually after the fact. But Texas got 2.6 million on it with a double FC from Decatur and Flames tier. Maryland got 2.2 million, Indiana got just under 2 million, Florida got, I don't know what, their score shows up as 1.3 million, but that's with a missing score. So it feels like a map that has a pretty wide range of possible score outcomes.
And I think your score gets nerfed a lot if you miss on that diff spike that I mentioned, because it's sat just at about the 2/3 mark, so if you have a big combo there and you break, you really don't have any opportunity to get a big combo before the map ends. I
wonder, like, is there a world where anybody goes back to mapping alt in a style like this? It feels like alt nowadays is all snap. Like, that's all anybody maps anymore is snap alt. Nobody maps flow alt. I kind of, you kind of miss it. Like you said, they don't make alt like this anymore.
There's still a lot of flow alt. It's just that there's a lot of aim control mixed in with it. Like, it's never exclusively flow alt like this. Like, there's always something else going on with it. I mean, you've got these back and forth sliders. Those can trip you up if you're tired. That's like a tired miss. Like, if you're asleep at the wheel, you'll find a miss there. But looks like all 6 of our players really comfortable through that first part. 6-way into the break. Slight lead for Illinois.
Really solid performance here from the entire lobby, but we are still in fairly early days, so you gotta be really settled in. Keep that consistency. There's the break to come from RO32, and advantage will go to Carolina for the time being. It's not going to be huge with this map being as long as it is, right? Those score gaps aren't going to build fast, but it is up to 30K so far.
That break from RO32 didn't make sense. It was a random slider, but this map does have a pretty high tick rate, so you can get caught out by that if you just misaim a slider by a little bit. As we get into the next course, it's a break from Lechuga. So now just Tuco all alone against a 3-way FC, and that's going to build up a score lead very quickly for Carolinas.
How many times has that happened in this match so far? Feels like we've said Tuco on the only combo, Tuco on the only FC like several times already, and we're only on our 5th map, but unfortunately it has been the case a couple times, and Carolina just going to roll with this score gap. Will Guitar Soul, as mentioned, see if anybody has any trouble.
Yeah,
through there, through the burst. Yeah, Carolina chilling, man. This might just be over.
This is so over for Illinois. A star pattern, 3P, but into the last quarter, 3-way FC. Not really too much to lose anymore. At this point, we're just on 3-way FC watch, which would be an incredible score for Carolina, potentially topping the weekend if they can lock this out.
They're continuing to hold, man, through this last chorus. Getting into the very ending of the map. It's 1500 combo on all 3 members. Wooperfan, Cookie, and Pullout Couch looking to really put forth an impressive score for the 3-2 lead. Will the 3-way come the last seconds here?
Oh, wow.
That is an impressive team score from Carolina. 2.9 million, 3-way full combo. Shoutouts on the other side. Tuco, 99.6 AC, had the actual best score in the lobby, but the other team had 3 FCs. Illinois only had 1. And that is going to put them up the break point, 3-2 lead, their own pick to come, trying to put their stamp on this match.
Yeah, I mean, a 3-way, I mean, that'll tell you all you need to know about the momentum of this match and how it's just shifted, because Illinois now lost 3 points straight, and that is a break point as well. So Carolina will have the next pick. Don't have any more tapping, but still, I think a lot of good maps in the pool for them.
Technically, they do have Nomad 3. It's flow rather than speed sort of adjacent tapping, but there is that map for something that is tapping-ish. But yeah, I mean, neither of the remaining DTs is obviously all that tapping focus. Like, there's a tiny bit of tapping in DT1, but not meaningful. Oh, and they're just gonna go it anyway. So okay, there you go. It's 200 BPM, so I mean, it's not like your speed or anything, but there's a couple of streams and bursts in this, and it's, you know, got that wonky aim and stuff going on as well. So I feel like, you know, the beauty of round of 32 is you just get really eat into the pools because everything gets played so much, and so we just get to see this one again and again.
Yeah, this map is just jank. Like, There's no like conventional map pooling terms you could use to describe this map. It's just like, I don't know, there's a few like weird snap patterns. You've got a lot of flow aim in there. It's a Portuguese song from our Portuguese pooler. Well, it's Portuguese speaking pooler.
I was gonna
he isn't
say,
Portuguese.
careful.
That is a glorious Brazilian man.
Lupa, I'm here to play double time one. Saha ha 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 ha.
Yeah, this singer does sound a lot like us. How much like auto tune or whatever the hell it is they need to put on whoever sings this song?
Plenty. An adequate amount. They must do the needful when it comes to the auto tune for sure. So again, you know, you're at that stage of the match where Carolina, you win this, you're up 4-2, you've got a couple match points ahead of you. Illinois can still tie it up here with the break point back and send it to the last pick for each team. There's just a lot on the line. And this is a kind of tricky one. Like you said, it's just jank, man. So watch carefully on every screen as much as possible. Some flow patterns catching players out. It's Tuco and Cookie to drop, as well as RO32 right at the beginning. There goes Lechuga as well. Continuing to struggle just a little bit more than they would like, I'm sure. Whooper fan the next break, and it's down to just pull out Couch, the only FC left in the lobby. Near FC reverse choke from RO32 to keep it close.
Yeah, and this map is really short, so all of those difficulties in the beginning are going to come back to hurt them because it is a 20k lead for Illinois. All that momentum would shift right back with an Illinois breakpoint right here as we're in the easier section of the map. They're going to get to build their lead a little bit, but there's really no breathing room for them. As we mentioned earlier, with DT, just one break is enough to shift it over. Score lead goes by so fast.
40k to the Illinois side, but a third of the map still to go. That's not going to feel anywhere near safe. Although it feels like there haven't been all that many breaks in the late portions of this map for whatever reason. It's like people just get comfortable with it after the first couple hundred combo, and you end up with all these big combos heading into the ending. Like here, everybody gets through the stream. It's Lechuga to fall on only 20k with Carolina holding combo.
And that's it. That break from Lechuga is all you needed. That's the DT score multiplier. And the combos being held when it matters most for Carolina going to be enough to seal that point back right at the very end. Last 10 seconds. Enough to put themselves up to match point.
Whew. That was a little scary, like, both ways for a while. It was scary for Illinois, then it was scary for Carolina, and then it was, well, past the point of scary for Illinois by the time it went back over, unfortunately. You know, for the 28th seed, they are acquitting themselves well in this match, but they need to recapture whatever magic they had on those first couple picks to try to force a tiebreaker now. Down 4-2, double match point, and really have been on the back foot. I mean, that's 4 straight maps for Carolina. What do you got left in the tank, Illinois, for your last pick to try to at least force Carolina into their last pick? If nothing else, at least do that much. What's the play here?
This is it's 4-2, so game 7 here for Carolina or for Illinois. They need to pick the right map.
Maybe, I mean, caution to the winds and just no mod 1.
My gut is actually saying DT3, even though they've lost the last couple of DT picks. That's another alt map. If you think the creator was like kind of a bit of a fluke, you go for that. But it is Jinkala, finally. Been waiting for this.
I was gonna say this was kind of the discussion point about this map, right? You know, you pick this early or you pick this late. It feels like not a map that you pick in the middle of a match. It's either like your first pick or your last pick, and indeed here it will be their last pick. It's you know what you're getting, and you've got some weird mod capabilities. Maybe you've got somebody that practices with flashlight, or if nothing else, you've got somebody in for easy on it. There's oddities that can occur on a map like this, and when you leave it to this stage of the match, it's just who knows. We're gonna see if it works, because it's all we got left.
Game 7, Jinkala. Gotta put up millions and millions of points. Let's see if Illinois can rise to the task. Got Hobbs in the lobby for the first time this match. Join Wooperfan and Cookie. Definitely expect to see Wooperfan on the Hard Rock. Bochi Cookie on the hidden. For Illinois, I guess Hubba goes hidden, and then probably Refantagio on the Hard Rock, right?
Yeah, I would expect as much, assuming that they don't go, any easies or any flashlights or whatever. Definitely more of a possibility here. No Hubba on this. Really? That... Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously a hidden player, but it's maybe not a Woya Jinkala player. You know what I mean? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a special type of human to be a Woya Jinkala player. But yeah, let's see. Going into it, let's see if there's any creepy mods, and it's gonna be Lupa with the easy flashlight. 2 matches in a row, easy flashlight on this. As usual, the USC player base is locked in on the first round's anti-mod map.
Let's see what the other mods are going to be, as we will have to reload. There we go. Okay, we do get the easy on Hobbs. Mapper Gimmick player pipeline is undefeated. Hidden on Cookie, Hard Rock on Wooperfan. So no real surprises with the others. Double Hard Rock is interesting on the side of Illinois. Obviously able to do that since they have the flashlight on top of the easy on Lupa. The only reason that their mod combo is allowed, which is a wild thing to say.
Well, I think for most players, Hard Rock is going to be your easiest mod on this. Not many players are really specialized in low approach rate, and the ones that are, you can already tell.
There is one person I am watching. Oh, but there's the break from Wooperfan. Down goes the Hard Rock for Carolina.
Oh, but Lupa!
Which is great. And Tuco. Oh, that is disastrous for Illinois. This is a very short one, already 2/3 of the way through, and still the double FC intact on Hobbs and Cookie.
Yeah, I think that's going to lose the match here, because there's no multipliers in the client, right? Like, you have to double Lupa's
I think
score.
there actually might be now. Yeah, I believe we do have the multipliers live now, so this just is the live score.
Yeah, it looks like Bochi Cookie, the hidden player of all time.
Come on.
SS it, don't. No!
Yeah, no way!
Oh, 100 on the last note.
Way! She went 100 at the last note.
No way.
Oh my god.
1 note from the double S, but enough to take Carolina on home to the round of 16. Illinois winning the first 2 points, but suffering a reverse sweep. And that's GG, well played.
It felt so interesting for Illinois after the way those first 2 maps went. But Carolina just flexed their muscle and showed why they're the number 5 seed. They said, oh, right, we have to take this seriously. Let's lock in. And lock in they did the rest of the way through. It is going to be Carolina into round of 16. They will face off against the winner of Georgia versus Kansuri, the 12 or 21 seed, with Illinois dropping to the loser's bracket to face the loser of that matchup. Opportunity knocking in both facets. I think Carolina probably beats either of those teams, and Illinois versus the loser will be a very interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, I think both teams looked pretty good in this match. Like, Illinois, even though they did lose, they had their moments. I mean, getting 2 points on a seed that's so much higher than them and being close on a couple other maps is no performance to scoff at. And Carolina getting the job done, I think, ready to move into the round of 16, try and get themselves into that coveted winner's quarter spot. Really excited to see what happens.
Yeah, you know, Carolina has had a bit of a rough history of, you know, not living up to their seed, finishing top 16 as the number 6 seed last year. So definitely looking to silence any naysayers in that particular regard. Hopefully we'll have their best foot forward again next week. As for this week, it's going to do it for our block on this particular channel. Over on USA States Cup B, we have the ongoing match between New York versus Territories, the first ever Territories team in their first ever match. Down 3-0 quickly, so if you want to have a look at that one at all, you'll need to do it quickly. And after that, it will be it for the night. The majority of this week's matches coming on the Sunday. It's going to be 21:30 UTC tomorrow afternoon, evening, depending on where you might be. Washington, New Jersey. Miles.
Yeah, we're going to break the curse against Washington. I'm very excited for this. And yeah, well, I'll see you on the A stream in 18 hours, I guess.
There you go.
There we go.
Miles on the A stream, 18 hours from now. Hope everybody has a great night, and we'll see you on Sunday.